There can be no love without justice. Hey, this is me, Nivea, and today I'm going to speak about the book Feminism is for Everybody by Bell Hooks. If you've seen my previous videos, you would know that I've already spoken about feminism-related books like Lady You're the Boss, Second Sex, and here again I'm with another feminism-related book. Why? Because one, I personally love reading and researching more about feminism, and hence I get to act on it. And when I get to read some great books, I love sharing it with my subscribers and viewers. Second main point is that male domination still prevails or exists. And unfortunately, we have to hence discuss about it, speak about it, so that we can action against it. And I must say that I am a proud feminist and I do not feel any shame saying this. The only shame feeling is that the world hasn't progressed yet and we need to still discuss about all of this. But I do not feel shameful thinking that people will assume that I am against men because I am a feminist. No, because I know what feminism is and I'm clear with the thoughts that feminism is not a movement against men. And this is something that is clearly explained in this book, and I could resonate my thoughts well with the content in this book. A lot of people still think that feminists are a bunch of angry women who just want to be like men. Their thoughts are stuck there. They do not still think about equal rights. And there are still people who think that feminism is going against tradition, culture, against God. They are lesbians who just take away the jobs from men. And a lot of people still think that feminism is just a movement by women. It cannot be supported by men. And whenever I have spoken about feminism with a group of people or to an individual, just like how the author has mentioned, even I have got the response or comment stating that whatever you said about feminism is fine, or your thoughts about feminism is fine, but the feminist who we see in media or the other side of feminism is not fine or right. But to them, what I want to say is the same what the author has mentioned, that unfortunately your imagination of feminism is wrong, because there is only one feminism, and that is a movement against sexism, sexist oppression and exploitation. Imagine a world where there is no domination. Women and men are not alike, and that's what makes it beautiful. A world where you can be who you are and who you want to be. A peaceful world, and this is definitely not achievable by just feminism movement. Definitely there should be an end to class elitism, racism and imperialism. The thought that a master and slave are required for survival needs to be demolished. You hear often that women needs to adjust in a marriage. You need to be a step down so that you have harmony in the relationship. You do not need a slave and master in any relationship. That is not required. We are not speaking about sameness. Rather, we are speaking about equalness, equality. And just like how I mentioned that feminism can be supported by men, there's an opposite side completely as well, and that is women who are sexist. And it is predominantly because of the culture, religious culture and traditions that are brought in, wherein women are considered to be subordinates in domestic household. And these can be highly traced in everyday life. Like for example, a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law. Both are ladies. Yet the mother-in-law expects only the daughter-in-law to do the household works like cooking and cleaning home, while she doesn't expect her son to do any, even if the daughter-in-law has a job just like her son. Because of the patriarchy system, because of the tradition that is being followed and handed over with the religious culture. To the ladies out there, you need to definitely do an introspection to identify whether you have an enemy within yourself, that internalized sexism. I should quote a sentence outside this book. It's from the book Lady You're the Boss, wherein it is mentioned a beautiful sentence which I really liked, and that is, you should not get up and prepare coffee if you are the only woman in the hall. It is something I practice as well, and these are small gestures like, atomic habits, but it brings a huge impact. You might be called as selfish or not the so-called traditional woman when you do it, but you can be happy that you are not regressive and you are progressive, and that is what is highly required. When a person judges me for not being a typical traditional woman whom they want me to be, I keep reminding myself that it's not just me, it's a community out there. So the small steps that you take, even if it is just between you and another person, it's very important what you do, because that's the same that you're going to repeat when you are in a crowd. As I said, atomic habits, it's the small changes that's going to make it highly impactful. For you to understand it better, let me take an example here, which is mentioned in the book as well. A white-skinned woman might or is not facing as many issues as a black-skinned woman, because a black-skinned woman has her doors closed because of she being a female and her race, because she's dark-skinned. So we need to support each other, support for the people who cannot depend for themselves. It could be the small changes that you do which will be highly impactful and later, helping out the community out there. This book also clearly mentions that patriarchy is a primary force for marriages to end or for divorce, which I did explain with an illustration of in-laws, right? But beyond that, this book also mentions that studies show that if a couple do not fall under male domination or patriarchy system, and if they divorce for some reason, they would still sustain to have a good friendship or bond between them even after divorce, which will not be the case if a divorce happens between a couple who used to live under the patriarchy system, a highly reliable one. So this is about the book Feminism is for Everybody. Definitely the title is just so reliable and going along with the content in this book. If you want to know more about feminism, go ahead and read this book. Definitely a miss if you do not read it and if you want to research more about feminism. With that, this is me, Nivea, signing off. Keep reading a lot of books. Bye. Take care. Happy reading.